All right, good morning everybody and welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel. Right now, I'm about to jump in that truck and head to Virginia, which you guys have already seen that video in the Viper prep. Maybe you didn't. The Viper videos don't seem to really do all that well. At least the Viper prep videos. But maybe the Viper racing videos will do better. We'll see. But Travis and CJ are working on the 4th Gen F body today.
Catfish.
Catfish, yeah. They do look a little bit like a catfish. So you can see we've already got our Rock Solid Motorsports tubular front on it. We actually have already welded mounts for the motor plate. We're using the stock transmission cross member in the back. We are going to add a lateral limiter since it's just got the motor plate and not a real tight fitting mid plate. So like I said a while back, this is a bit more of a basic combination than you've seen us build with Soccer Mom, the Lawn Dart, the Chevy 2. Stock bottom end, Gen 4 5.3, 80mm turbo. Should go pretty fast, but not quite as fast as the other cars. So it's going to be a fun toy, but will easily be able to be upgraded. It's got Holly on it already. And, you know, we can stack all kinds of crazy stuff onto the Holly and do lots of fun things. I'm gonna leave the camera with Travis and CJ. We'll see what all they get done. All right, well, we are back on the 4th gen. See, Travis and CJ got the motor set in it while I was out of town. And what looked like so much room up in front of the car has quickly disappeared with a very large air-to-air intercooler, a radiator, a turbo, and what we have decided to do this morning, we got these mounts for the headlights, but like all of this ain't really doing a whole lot. So what we're looking at is we see a bolt here, and we're going to make a tab that connects that, and then we're going to cut all that off so that we've got better room for pipes to turn. You can see we trim the tanks off the end of the intercooler. Just part of the process of making all this stuff work together. And you start jamming all kinds of stuff in these things, and you find out you don't have near as much room as you think you do, or thought you did. So hopefully after a little bit of more modification on that, a little more modification on this, I think we can create ourselves a whole lot more room, make the car easier to work on. That's always a good thing. So we're going to jump back into this thing, make some sparks, make some stuff fit a little bit better. Well, we've moved into hot side fabrication on the turbo system. See, we kind of got our turbo mounted over here, kind of in the front. Kind of see we're going to have the exhaust just turn down and go out the fender. On the charge pipe side, we're going to weld a 90-degree to the end of the volute here. And I've actually already chopped it up. And then I think this intercooler is probably going to go another inch or so this way. We'll custom build our own end tanks to kind of get that all aimed together. So we'll have the radiator back in here behind the intercooler, laid back at a little bit of an angle, just because it's a little tall and we need to make sure it gets down underneath the hood. Can we see? Yeah, so you can see we'll have to tuck that down in there. We've got the beginnings of our driver's side, hot side pipe tacked together, got foil on the ends, got our slip joint in the middle. You guys saw on the Soccer Mom dyno video, you could see the slip joint on one side of the video. I can't remember which side it was, but you can see actually see the exhaust grow. And the idea there is so that it's got some movement so that it doesn't crack. Because if you think about if everything was fixed solid and it's wanting to grow that 1/4 of an inch, well, if it's welded solid, it's just gonna crack. And I know there are some really good flex bellows out there, but so far the 2 or 3 flex bellows that we have welded and tried on cars, they ended up breaking. So double slips, I feel like, are the way to go for now. But we're gonna get back to it, do some more welding, then I'll show you how this is progressing here after I get this welded up. And then we'll be on to the passenger side pipe. Yeah, and then we're getting a lot closer on this thing. All right, well, that's just about gonna wrap up today's video. I gotta go get my oldest daughter from school, and it's been a long day. But thought I'd leave you guys with a little tip. And I think I've done this in the past, but we've got some new people that maybe haven't seen this, so this is for you. So for anybody using V-bands, one, you should always put some anti-seize on the threads. I like a copper, like high temp anti-seize. I don't know if you can see it on there. Yeah, maybe. And then the real savior of T-bolt clamps or V-band clamps, first put a washer and then use a steel nut here, because a steel nut, like a lot of these, even good name brand ones, come with a stainless steel nut here. The stainless steel nut, if it touches this collar here, this little collar that's on the V-band clamp, if it gets on that and you're tightening it up, it just chews itself together there, And then when you go to take it off, it gets stuck and eats the pieces down inside of it. Hold on just a minute. And then use the pinch nut as a jam nut. That way you have a double locking feature. This is a pinch nut there, but these pinch nuts with the little slots in the end of them, they always come loose and lose their locking capability. But if you double nut it on there, it's not going to do that, and it'll stay tight. You won't have to worry about your V-bands or your T-bolts coming loose, your T-bolt clamps, and then you won't have charge pipe separation or hot side pipe separation. So you can see where we ended up for today. We've got the driver's side pipe done. Our wastegate is going to go right here, pointing down with the priority feed on the wastegate. So basically the air will go right into the wastegate, which should give us really good control. Over here on the passenger side, we'll have to have a little turn in it to get it down, but we'll figure that all out. And it's fully welded except for the wastegate takeoff. So you might have seen that I made 2 passes here. The first pass was stainless steel. The second was with silicon bronze, which gives a little bit of flex in that weld joint right there. And it gives kind of like a wider joint, so it spreads the the welded area out a little bit just to give it some better support. On the inside, you might have noticed that I didn't back purge it. Reason being, oxygen can't get to the back side of the stainless steel pipe where I'm welding because it's captured inside the thickness of the flange. If you think about that pipe is almost all the way through the flange. So if this is capped off here and we're welding, we're actually blowing the argon in around the joint of the pipe, and that keeps it from sugaring or getting any kind of ugly inside of that. I should have videoed the inside of the pipe because it looks really nice. And we are using 2 1/4 inch hot side piping on this thing. Actually, until recently, Soccer Mom had 2 1/4 inch pipe. The Lawn Dart has 2 1/4 inch charge pipes into the turbo. And if you look, with a T6 divided flange, you can squeeze it that way and squeeze it this way, and it'll slide right in the pipe. And then you end up with a nice area to weld. You got a nice looking welded flange when it's all done. But that's gonna wrap up today's video. Appreciate everybody watching, subscribing. Probably the next video will be a little more action on this car. See if we can get the intercooler done, plumbed up to the throttle body. And then we'll be on the fuel system and cranking this thing up. Our race that we intend to make with this car is in 3 weeks. So 3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks. It's the very last weekend of October. So we're cranking along on it. We should be getting it to the dyno hopefully within 2 weeks. Then maybe a test and tune, and then the actual event itself. So appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. See you guys next time.